Hi, this is David Brannon, disability lawyer, and in this video, I'm going to talk about taxes and legal fees, two things people usually do not want to talk about, but we're going to look at legal fees and tax deductions in the context of being approved for CPP disability. So if you like this video, please hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and leave your comments as we love to answer comments. You have unfortunately had to hire a lawyer to help you with your CPP disability appeal. We'll say you go to the tribunal, it gets approved, and now you get this legal bill that you have to pay. Many people will ask, well, when I'm filing my taxes, can I, get a write-off or claim the legal fees as a tax deduction? And the answer to that is yes, in most cases. Here's where this comes from. The Tax Act at Section 60(o) has a section there that allows, surprisingly to some people, although we've known about this for quite some time, it allows you to deduct legal expenses, and I'll read exactly what it says. Amounts paid by the taxpayer in the year in respect of fees or expenses incurred in preparing, instituting, or prosecuting an objection to or an appeal in relation to, and then it's subsection 4, an assessment or decision made under the Canada Pension Plan or Provincial Pension Plan is defined. That's pretty clear as far as legal language goes, that you absolutely can claim legal expenses for prosecuting or doing an appeal of your CPP disability claim. So how do you go about doing that? It is actually, make sure I get this right, the deduction comes at line 23,200 in your return. This is seen as, that's a spot where there's a list of deductions. That is when at the bottom and it says other. And you're going to put in there legal expenses where it says other. But what you're going to need to do is take the total amount of your legal bill and you would plug that in to where on that line. So line 23,200, it says other deductions, and you would write in legal expenses and you would put the amount there. Now that's usually not enough to do this. So what we suggest when we represent people in these cases, what you're going to do is if you have legal expenses from a lawyer regarding winning your CPP, you want the lawyer to do up a lawyer certificate or an affidavit would do, but it needs to be an official document from the lawyer that explains the context of that this was an appeal and that they represented you, that you incurred legal fees, and ideally that affidavit or certificate is going to attach a copy of the invoice from the lawyer marked paid. And so the lawyer can say that attached is the legal bill and I confirm that it's been paid. Once you have that, you could file that certificate that would be certified by the lawyer. You could file that with your return and keep a copy yourself. That should be enough to justify that legal deduction under section 23,200. You're going to put legal expenses, you're going to attach that certificate, and that should do it. If you just send in an invoice from the lawyer and it's not marked paid, it's not, it's not clear that it was for what it was for, you could run into trouble here. Not that you're going to get into any major trouble, but just more headaches. You might get reassessed. They may want more information. So we give people the certificate right off the bat so that you can put it in there. As with anything, I am not a tax expert. I am a disability lawyer. I'm pretty confident with this, but you should always run this by whoever's preparing your taxes and make sure that this what I'm saying meets what they consider as well to be the rules around these tax deductions. But this one is pretty clear. As long as you have your proof and backup that you have the paid invoice. Can you claim this deduction if it's not a lawyer that represented you? Say you're represented by an advocate or someone who was not a lawyer. That I am not clear on. It's clear to me that you could claim this deduction when represented by a lawyer or law firm or a licensed paralegal, I would expect in Ontario. But if you're represented by a non-lawyer, I'm not clear that if you could make this deduction. That is something you'd have to check. And I don't know that anyone's going to be clear on that because it's possible, but it may need to be by a lawyer to be a legal expense. I'm not 100% sure. We'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please check in next time with us and leave your comments down below, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.